Welcome to Weight Loss and Wellness for Real, the podcast where people like you get the practical solutions and support you need to permanently lose the physical and mental weight so you can feel better and live the life you want in the body and mind you want. If you're looking to overcome your stress eating, overeating, binging behaviors, and move to a place of freedom with food and your body, you're in the right place. Just a reminder that this podcast represents my own opinions. The content here should not be taken as medical advice. The content here is for educational and informational purposes only. Please consult your doctor or healthcare professional for any individual medical questions you may have. Hello, everyone. I hope you are all doing well, and thank you for being here and listening. This episode is all about written coaching, and if after you have listened and you think this is something you're interested in, but want some more information on how I use this with my clients, more details, prices, all those things, head to my website at heatherheynen.com. My last name, Heynen, is spelled Heynen, so heatherheynen.com to get more details on all the programs I offer for weight loss coaching, life coaching, and how I use written coaching with some of my clients to make really big changes really fast, help them lose weight, and most important, how to get them to do it in a way that keeps it off for good. I do also offer phone session coaching for these things as well, and all that info is also on my website. There's also a place there you can easily get in touch with me if you have more questions about the programs that I offer. In this episode, as I said, it's all about written coaching, what it is, how it works, how it's different from verbal coaching, and if you might be someone who benefits more from written coaching. I'm going to talk about how journaling, writing, and self-coaching through writing can be such a powerful tool, along with regular coaching or written coaching for much quicker weight loss and the ability to sustain that weight loss and experience a really healthy relationship with food and our bodies. So first thing, I just want to explain that with the program I offer, I do a lot of verbal weight loss and life coaching through phone sessions, one-on-one. I'm also still a licensed mental health therapist in private practice, so I do have one-on-one counseling sessions in person as well. But I also do a lot of weight loss coaching with clients through writing only. And it's this writing piece that I really wanted to dive into today and talk about how it can be so beneficial and help people move quicker through their weight loss journey. And if you're someone who doesn't like to write, we're going to talk a little bit about that as well, and why maybe staying open or having a really open mindset about writing could be sort of the key to really help you on your weight loss goal. On a quick side note about this as well, we are also seeing this trend in mental health therapy. Mental health therapy seems to be moving into a space of where writing back and forth with clients and even texting is happening. You may have heard of one of there's tons out there, but there's one company that seems to advertise the most, and they're called BetterHelp. It's a service that provides people with therapists in their state, but it has options for texting, for emailing with your therapist. So we are seeing this movement of writing within the therapy world as well. I think also, again, it's a little side note, but I do think our kiddos generation right now is a very, very pro mental health, which is, this is my world, so I'm a little biased, but it is a beautiful thing to see. I would say my generation, there was kind of a big stigma around mental health and seeing a therapist or having a coach or whatever it is. And I think what we're seeing with our kids' generation, they're really embracing it. They understand the importance of it, how it can move them quicker to their life goals, how it can really help them get through really difficult mental and emotional health issues. And so my point of saying all that is they are also big texters. So they're big writers in ways. And so I'm sure, I think that's why that trend is happening, right? I think they're kind of pushing that trend. Anyway, interesting side note. Interesting to me. Interesting side note. Okay, so self-coaching is when you have, journaled you have written and you go back and reflect on what you wrote. It's the idea that you ask yourself questions about what you wrote. So for example, maybe you journaled something like, I feel like I'm not doing enough. And then you would go back and ask, what did I mean by that? What do I think I'm not doing enough of? The biggest thing when we're self-coaching through writing is being curious without judgment. It's about looking at what we wrote with curiosity and not judging ourselves, but instead asking questions to find more clarity. And you just kind of keep at it. It's like a knot in the, you ever had a knot in your back and you go to a masseuse? They very slowly and carefully, they try different angles, different moves to release and untangle that knot, to find that release. And that's a lot of what we are doing when we are self-coaching ourselves through journaling. So that's sort of that self-coaching through journaling piece. Now, the reason writing can be so powerful is because writing is really a form of thinking. And if you've listened to this podcast for a while, you understand that our thinking, how we think, what we think is so important, because that is what cultivates our feelings. And our feelings drive our behaviors, and our behaviors create our results in life. It's powerful. Writing is powerful because we can go back, we can reread, and we can really create a mind change, a way to change our habit thought patterns that are not helpful for us. So writing can help us more quickly change our habits of thoughts that we need to change in order to create new feelings, to create new behaviors, to create the new results that we want. So think about reading something in the past, maybe that you've read, and you learned something from that. You learned something new, and that shifts your thinking because of what you read. And so it changes your perspective. It changes how you feel, changes how you behave. In that same way, writing affects and changes and influences other people's minds. When we write about ourselves, thoughts and feelings and issues, we can start to shift our own mind and thoughts much more quickly. We learn more about ourselves and start to understand ourselves more deeply. We become more aware through writing, and remember the importance of awareness. We need that awareness and insight in order to find clarity. And remember, clarity gives us a sense of control. And when we have a sense of control, it helps us feel empowered and move into the behaviors that we are truly wanting to engage in. Other benefits of written coaching, and so I'm not just journaling or writing, I'm talking about actual written coaching here, is that I notice my clients who do written coaching with me offer up much more personal, deep, and helpful information much quicker. So I know for me personally, when I'm in person with a coach or a therapist, I often hold back for a bit because I can be a little shy and in person, and being vulnerable in person can, for me anyway, be a bit tougher than being vulnerable through writing. There's an ability to get vulnerable more quickly through written coaching. And for many, it is much easier to write about feelings versus speaking or verbalizing them out loud. It's so interesting, when I'm writing coaching with someone and asking them what that feeling was, they get back to me and they can name it. They can write it out. If I'm doing this phone session, so a verbal session or a face-to-face session, and I ask people, often people get really stuck, or they stick to the real basics, like, well, I was mad, or I was sad, or I was happy, right? But in written coaching, people are really much quicker to be able to say how they are feeling and much more detailed about it. They can really hone in to much more deeper feelings much more quicker. And the faster that vulnerability is there, the faster clients move into change and the ability to figure out those deeper issues going on with their food relationship, and therefore we can change that much quicker. Writing brings clarity. Writing brings quicker vulnerability and opening up to the deeper things going on. Writing brings confidence, which is a feeling we really need and want to cultivate in order to create behavior change, either around food or any habit we are trying to change. Writing changes our thinking habits quicker. And again, if you've been listening to this for a while, you understand the importance of changing those thinking habits in order to create different feelings, to create different behaviors, to create the results we really want in life, not just weight loss, any results we want in life. Written coaching is also really powerful as a coach as well. So written coaching for me is really different than verbal or face-to-face coaching sessions that happen in real time. So written coaching also allows me as a coach to reflect and really take time to respond to my clients' questions, their thoughts, their responses that they're giving me. I have time to reflect on my clients' words and consider different ways of responding that will bring about the quickest changes for my clients. It's really a different process for me as a coach as well. It gives me as a coach sort of that space to think and process and to give you the best possible and powerful responses for change. Written coaching is just very, very efficient. That is the word that I would use with it. There is one other benefit. When a client asks a written question through coaching, there is that space between asking the question and receiving a response from me. I always respond in less than 24 hours, but it is most often within a few hours that I'm responding to my clients who do written coaching with me. But there is still some space there. So what happens is in that space where the clients ask the question, I haven't responded yet, your brain automatically starts to kind of self-coach, especially if you've been in a coaching program for a while, right? Because you have new language that you're using, your brain's practicing new language. So this space between asking the question and response allows new thoughts to come up spontaneously for you and begins to create that ability to self-coach more easily, which is the ultimate goal that I have for my clients. I'm there, they hire me, I'm there to partner with them and help them move and quicker to their goals that they're looking for. But eventually the goal is that my clients learn how to have new thought patterns, new feeling patterns, new behavioral patterns for themselves. The ultimate goal is to get them to trust themselves enough and again so that they can make more changes on their own as they go throughout life. Really, you are your own expert, and me or any coach is just the guide helping you get to the place where you really can feel and embody that you are your own expert, that you really can do this eventually on your own. I always think I'm in a really interesting business because the goal is not to keep you on as a client. The goal is that you eventually are able to move on without a coach. And that goes for therapy too. Okay, there are also just logistical reasons that writing is so helpful. It's super, super convenient. So you can do it at any time. You don't have to have a scheduled session with a coach. If something comes up, you can write right away to your coach about what's going on and receive feedback or encouragement or an answer relatively soon. So it really is just very, very convenient. And writing, I know, does not always come naturally to people. And so when I work with clients through written coaching, all my clients get weekly journal prompts as well as a template that they use with their weekly check-ins. And this allows people who don't know where to start or what to write about to know exactly what to write about. Those writing prompts, those journal prompts are what help clarify and give focus to my clients, a direction where to go with their journaling, with their writing. This also allows clients not to have to come up with their own prompts or make decisions on what to write. They're just given those in advance. And I think, and I learn more things about my clients through our initial assessment, as well as I get to know them really well as we do our work and journey together throughout our time together. So I'm able to give them what I believe are going to be the most beneficial for each of them in regards to journal prompts and what I'm asking them to write about. And this just moves them quicker to their weight loss goals or life goals. I really focus on each individual client and their particular issues with weight and body and food and self-relationships, as each of us is just so unique in who we are, our lifestyles, our past experience. And so journal prompts need to be different for each individual client and their particular issue. Okay, so I think that's about it for the written coaching. I hope you maybe can at least take from this some of the benefits of writing in general. So whether, it's I think maybe written coaching is for me, or I want to give this a shot, or to just really encourage you to try journaling. And there are just so many benefits to writing in regards to changing our brain thought habit patterns so much quicker and faster. So I hope if anything you can take away from this is maybe just to try a little writing and see how it goes for you. I appreciate you being here and listening, taking the time to listen. And as I talked about in the beginning of the episode, if you want to get in touch, best way to do that is through my website at heatherheinen.com. We will talk soon. Did you know you can find a lot more help from me on my website? Go to heatherheinen.com. Heinen is spelled Heynen, and get in touch with questions on all things I offer, like online courses for overeating, weight loss, goal attainment, and also my coaching and counseling services.